We also partner with the Ministry of Youth and Sport and the Ministry of Tourism and Culture to launch the Biri Biri initiative on sport and tourism under the coordination of the Office of the Vice President. SNF9 also have a country focus, paying particular attention to diaspora relations and development cooperation with the Kingdom of Spain. The closing panel session ends at 5 p.m. when participants are invited to continue the networking at an outdoor reception at the back of the conference center over here. We look forward to the performance of our Gambia, and once again we thank Mr. Jokmali Jain, Director of Yaram Art, for integrating arts and culture within SNF. Throughout the day, we will be entertained by the Gambia Police Band under the leadership of Superintendent of Police Usman Faye for his talented band.
Thank you, Diki Asamo. It is my honor to invite Imam Al-Haji Basiru Drame to lead us in prayers. Imam Drame.
Allahumma, we pray that you guide us on this right path and grant us the wisdom and strength and wherewith to work together for the betterment of this beloved nation. Allahumma, islah halana wa waffiqna lima tuhibbu wa tarda waj'alna min alladhina ya'maluna as-salihati wa yattaquna as-sayyi'ati. Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna 'ala an-nabi ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu 'alayhi wa sallimu.
For your prayers and guidance. I will now call on Reverend Mrs. Safo to also lead us in the Christian prayer.
Almighty God, giver of all good gifts and creator of the world, we have come this year with grateful hearts, thanking you for your many and wonderful blessings. We thank you for all you have done for GK partners, for the MSDG team, and all stakeholders, and all those who are part of the collaboration between the ministries, departments, and agencies and non-state actors. Thank you for the provision of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that guided their work. Thank you for their untiring efforts. Thank you for their resilience, their energy, patience, and love for what they are doing for this nation through the GK Partners activities. We thank you for the theme of this year's conference, enhancing participation in the productive sectors. Thank you, Lord God, for the gift of life and health. Thank you for this nation. Thank you for the peace in this nation. Thank you that we can sleep in peace, wake up in peace, and go about in peace. Thank you for all the activities going on for this sector. We thank you for seeing us to the beginning of this new year, 2026, and joining in this year's 9th State in the Nation Forum. We thank you for all you have enabled the team to do over the years. We thank you for all that you enabled them to do and all that they will be able to do by your power and favor and guidance upon them. Bless the team with long life and good health. Strengthen them in areas where they are weak and areas where they need help. Help them to go forward ever, backward never, in their work and activities, and may their work and activities grow and grow over time. May this year be a good year for us all. We pray in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
We will now invite Ms. Ida Fan to deliver the statement of the Central Bank Governor, Boaz Dady, and announce the 2025 remittance figures.
Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia, Mr. Mohammed B.S. Jara, Honorable Cabinet Ministers here present, members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps, Project Director, Migration and Sustainable Development in Gambia, our esteemed members of the diaspora community, our development partners, senior government officials here present, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I have the honor of addressing this important forum on behalf of the Honorable Governor of the Central Bank of the Gambia, as we gather again to reflect and consult on matters of economic growth and national development, with the theme for this year being enhancing participation in the productive sector. Permit me to extend our warm appreciation to the diaspora community, whose continued commitment to national development remains a powerful force for economic growth and resilience. Diaspora remittances remains a key source of investment and a great enabler of economic growth and sustainable development. In an increasingly uncertain global environment, remittance flows are proven to be remarkably resilient, providing a dependable source of foreign exchange. At micro level, these remittances enhance family welfare, serving as a major source of support for consumption, education, healthcare, to name a few. These have positive correlation to poverty reduction and social stability, and by extension, increased productivity. As a central bank, we recognize our responsibility to ensure that remittances flows are safe, efficient, transparent, and affordable, reducing transaction costs, promoting competition among service providers, and encouraging the use of formal financial channels remain key policy priorities at the central bank. These efforts are essential to maximizing the economic impact of remittances while safeguarding the integrity of the financial system. To this effect, the Central Bank of the Gambia established a FinTech and Forex Bureau Supervision Department. This is to create a conducive environment for healthy competition, whilst also safeguarding the financial system and ensuring efficient flow of funds. The Central Bank continues to put measures in place to promote innovation and cost-effective means of access to finance in line with government financial inclusion strategies. For example, in collaboration with the Ministry of Finance, the Central Bank has issued the Retail Payment Services Regulations in 2023, which has seen the licensing and regulation of electronic money service providers growing and increasing the access to finance. The bank is moving forward to issue additional regulatory guidelines to promote innovation while ensuring safety and sustainable growth of the sector. To understand the importance of remittances, let's hear out the figures. Remittances have marked a steady growth over the recent years, and for the year 2025, total inflows stood at approximately $872.05 million. And this is to state that these are only remittances accountable through the formal channels. That gives you an importance of the importance of remittances in terms of national development. This represented 54.42 million increase in diaspora remittances from 2024 figures, and representing over 30% of national gross domestic product. The continued growth in remittance is a combination of both increase in volume being sent and the more embracement of formal channels. Whilst we comment the diaspora for their continued commitment to supporting families and the country. We encourage the increased use of the formal financial channels for efficiency, ease of access, and record-keeping purposes. The Central Bank commits to continue close collaboration with the relevant stakeholders to further ease the pains and challenges of financial service and access to finance. To conclude, I once again extend my gratitude to the diaspora community, to government, and all relevant stakeholders for the collaboration in moving the national development agenda forward. Thank you all.
Thank you, Ms. Fine. As a country, we are pleased that the Central Bank developed and maintains world-class competency in remittance data monitoring and analysis. GK Partners is proud of its technical cooperation with the bank since 2017. USD 872.05 million was recorded as remittance figure for year 2025. Once again, the Gambian diaspora demonstrates its commitment to the motherland through regular and predictable transfers of colossal sums of money to the Gambian economy.
Today, ABS is operating in 19 countries. If I am not mistaken, I don't think there are many Gambian businesses that are represented in 19 countries. Today, ABS wallet has over 500,000 customers. ABS wallet in 2025 did over 7 million transactions. APS wallet, in collaboration with IFAD, trained in the last 2 years over 800 women rural groups. APS as a group, again in collaboration with IFAD, trained over 2,500 youths with skills that will be useful for the livelihood of those youths for the rest of their lives. And that is going to multiply because they will also train some people. But APS has been very, very innovative. As I said earlier on, the business started with manual, very, very manual. But knew that is not sustainable. We had to automate. And that is what brought about the birth of APS wallet. Today, you see it in Europe, UK, America, comfortably can send funds that will terminate into somebody's wallet. You don't have to make any call to ask someone to go and collect funds from a location, but the funds sits in your wallet. And that was extended to, why not have a microfinance? Let us not just limit this to sending funds or remitting funds from abroad to the Gambia. A microfinance, in the name of APS Islamic Microfinance, conceived from that. And what was the idea? It's developmental, motivated. Let's have a microfinance where these funds coming from abroad can sit as deposits and give opportunity to the entrepreneurs to have financing. As a source of financing, the microfinance came in. And today, we can tell you, in the year of 2025, the microfinance has given out over $600 million to Gambian entrepreneurs. APS as a group employs over 200 Gambians. That is permanent employment, and over 200 direct sales agents. That is temporary staff. I am sure half of that staff force also employs some people at home. So you can see the number of Gambians that are employed in the Gambia and outside of the Gambia by APS, the idea that came from Mr. Sami in 2009. APS has, without doubt, contributed to the social economic development of this country, our motherland, the Gambia.
Yona Islamic Microfinance is one of the entities of Yona Group. Yona Group has 6 companies. The first one started as a small corner store in Bakaba some years ago by a Gambian by the name Sirifo Toure. Sirifo came from Arabic school background. He started a mini market, and that is now called Yona Enterprise, that is bringing in hundreds of thousands of bags of rice, hundreds of thousands of bags of sugar, hundreds of thousands of gallons of oil, etc. Foodstuffs. Because of his vision, he decided to go into remittance, and the second company became Yona Foreign Exchange Bureau. Yona Foreign Exchange Bureau today has over 200 branches across the country. Every major settlement in this country, if you look around, you will see Yona. We have over 600 agents, and the group together has over 600 members of staff. The second or the third company is Yona Islamic Microfinance, and I am the managing director of that institution. Then came Yona Islamic Insurance, that's the fourth one, and Yona Wallet, and Yona Agribusiness. The microfinance is an Islamic microfinance. All our transactions are Sharia based, using the known products like Mudaraba, Murabaha, Musharaka, Istisna, Salam, etc., etc. We make sure that all our transactions are Sharia compliant, and that's why we have a department called Sharia Department and a board called Sharia Advisory Board. This is to ensure that we do not only say but we do it in practice. Our focus is to ensure that there is financial inclusion in the country, and also we practice ethical financing. So as a result, we try to be very innovative about this. We have 600 agents and 200 branches that we work through. The microfinance though has only 15 branches, but our customers are able to access their funds through any of the agents and through any of the branches using the wallet. Once you go to the App Store or the Play Store, you download the Yona wallet, you should be able to be in Koina and access your money. All you have to do is to move your funds from your account to your wallet and go to any Yona Foreign Exchange Bureau or Yona agent, and you'll be able to access your money. And vice versa, it's also easy to move your money from your wallet, whether people send it to you or you are an entrepreneur that receives payment through the wallet, you can move your funds to your account without physically going to a branch. We do all this to ensure that we make life easy for customers and also to make sure that we have financial inclusion, as always, picked by Central Bank of the Gambia.
Partnership, we have seen that it's very important. A lot of time people think about competition, but it's very important to partner with our fellow institutions. We partner with government, we partner with individuals, etc.
Here is Ambassador of Odia. From the dusty grounds of Banjul, grand arenas of Europe, most notably at Sevilla FC, where he still adored and celebrated. We are GFF in order to honor and keep his eternal legacy. We've already named a proposed mini stadium after him to be built within the National Technical Training Center in UU. PDP is a living legacy. The living legacy. In one of Africa's earliest icons in European football, was followed by some renowned players like Mon Barrow, who was one of the, if not the first Gambian to play in the Premier League, Swansea Football Club. We had Dr. who also competed in the Bundesliga for the club Osborne. Out of 2025, 250 Gambian players are playing professional football across the globe. While the majority are based in Europe, others are competing in elite leagues across Asia, Africa, and the Americas. Examples of Gambian top league players today are, like in the Premier League here, Mr. Minte, Brighton, and Hope Albion. In the German Bundesliga, we have Assise with FC St. Paul. In the Italian Serie A, we have Calif Federa with US Sassuolo, Falucciano with Hellas Verona, and in the Asian football, we have Musa Barrow competing in the Saudi Pro League with Al-Tawoun, amongst many others. The market value and global recognition of Gambian players in diaspora. In December 2025, the CIS Football Observatory identified Young Committee as the most valuable African player currently playing in Europe. His important market value reached 80 million euros, reflecting the growing global demand and respect for Gambian talents. The ministry and competitive impact. Gambian professionals accumulated significant playing time across leagues in 2025. The top 100 Gambian players recorded over 200,000 combined minutes at club level. This averages more than 2,000 minutes per player, demonstrating regular selection, trust from coaches, meaningful on-field contribution. These figures confirm that Gambian players are not fringe participants, but they are contributors at the elite level. The next wave of Gambian talent, beyond today's professionals, there's a strong pipeline of emerging Gambian players across Europe. Gambian footballers are currently represented in B teams, on the 20s, on the 19s, and on the 18s squads of some of the world's most elite.
My name is Boubacar Steve Trawale, a Gambian professional footballer, and it is an honor to stand before you today. The SNF has always been critical mechanism for engaging all stakeholders, particularly in Gambian diaspora, in meaningful policy discourse of our national development. The theme is timely and critical, and crucial, and I am particularly excited about the launching of the Biri Biri initiative on sports and tourism. For too long, we have viewed football as a form of entertainment or a social activity. Today, we must shift our perspectives. The global football industry is a multi-million-dollar business driven by innovation, data, and technology. It's a productive sector capable of creating jobs, driving tourism, and inspiring national pride. Furthermore, Gambian footballers are fundamental assets to our nation's journey towards sustainable development. Our financial contributions secure livelihoods, while our professional achievements inspire systematic improvement within our sports sector. Football also has great economic value. When properly developed, it creates jobs, not just for players, but for coaches, medical staff, administrators, media personnel, and many others. Combined with sport tourism, football can support local businesses and contribute to national revenue. As the CEO of BSD Galaxy Football Club, a team competing in the Gambian National League, I am heavily invested in developing Gambian talents and creating opportunities for them to play professional football. It's been 3 years since the team was founded, and so far we've transferred 17 kids professionally. Therefore, I urge all stakeholders, from government ministries to private sectors and our vital diaspora community, to engage actively in the transformation of enhancing participation in the productive sectors. Your expertise, resources, and commitment are invaluable in building a brighter future for the Gambian football sector and the beloved Gambia as a whole. Biribiri's journey reminds us of what is possible when talent is recognized and supported. His story continues to inspire generations of young Gambians to believe that with discipline, hard work, and the right support, they can reach the highest of levels. Meanwhile, the Bilibili initiative presents a clear path aligned with our football ambitions with the National Development Plan. This was a man whose love for the country was unwavering. As a footballer myself, I can personally relate to his journey. I understand the discipline, sacrifices, and the challenges that come with pursuing football as a career. The Bilibili initiative is therefore timely and important. By honoring the national hero, we are sending a strong message to our youth that excellence is recognized and that their dreams matter. This initiative can inspire discipline, patriotism, and professionalism among young Gambians. In conclusion, it is noteworthy that innovation in football is not just about new ideas, it serves our presence and secures a stronger future for the next generation. Thank you to you all.
Family of the late Alhaji Monica Biribiri, all protocol respectfully duly observed. It is indeed pleasing that the ninth State of the Nation Forum focuses on the financial service, football, and tourism sector, with sports and tourism component focusing on the country of Spain, a country that had and continue to have a strong football ties with the Gambia due to the record of the legendary Alhaji Monica Biribiri. The 9th edition of the State of the Nations Forum provides us the perfect opportunity to reflect on the life of the iconic Alhaji Monica Biribiri, who was the first Gambian diaspora footballer who played professionally in Denmark, but was more notable during his stay in Spain, where he played for Seville Football Club and left a legacy that remains one of the most incredible in civil football history, but more importantly, a memorable history of African football connected with Spain. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, for decades, football fans, sports and civic leaders, and other stakeholders and citizens have advocated for an enduring national tribute to Biribiri here in his own homeland. In response, the Ministry of Youth and Sports proposed and received approval from His Excellency the President of the Republic to name the covered pavilion of the Independence Stadium as Biribiri Pavilion. This will soon be unveiled when the stadium renovation is completed. I am honored and pleased that here again, His Excellency the President, represented by His Excellency the Vice President, agreed to personally launch the new Biri initiative in sports and tourism today at the State of the Nation Forum 9th edition, an initiative that seeks to use sports to promote tourist arrival between the Gambia and Spain. The structured Biri initiative emerged from the Gambia's participation in the United Nations 4th International Conference on Financing for Development in Civil Spain, where His Excellency the Vice President led the Gambian delegation. And during that forum, Professor Jibril Fall was able to facilitate a visit by His Excellency the President to the civil stadium together with the Ministers of Foreign Affairs and that of Finance and others who were with the Vice President at the time. Biri joined civil in 1973, and although he left the club in 1978, he is still loved and celebrated as a local hero. As recent as 5th of October 2025, the light poster of his image was displayed by fans in the stadium on the occasion when Sevilla beat Barcelona 4-1. The 25 Gambian delegation who visited the Estonia Ramon Sanchez Stadium on July 7, 2025 were struck and emotional about the extent to which Biri is honored in a foreign land. Biri is one of the best footballers ever to have played the game of football. His profound dedication to the Gambia and contribution to the national game is unsurpassed. The grateful nation pays tribute to the colossal talent who lived a life of professional excellence, patriotic service to the country, and a personal humility until his death.
A Banjulian older man saw him and was attracted by what he really didn't even know. He gives us a name, Condor. The man was transfixed, stopped the march, called the boy, and said, "What is your name?" And identified him. The lesson there for the grown-ups in the room, walking, minding your business, do look out for the genius that God has hidden in the children. Akonte saw it. He said, "I'm taking you to play in a football match." He went there. These were adults. They said, "How can this little boy join the team? Just now, like that. It doesn't work like that." He argued and said, and won the day. And Biri was put in. Small boy. What did he do? He scored the winning goal. You know, some of us are lucky in that when he returned from Denmark, the Ministry of Education, Youth and Sports, when it was not separated, tried to occupy him. And they sent him to different places, including Gambia High School. So we would, what the Wolof called chuha, we would talk to him to hear stories. And he would tell some of these stories. From that beginning, he tells the story that that day going back home, the pa even danced that day because he was vindicated. And that effectively was the spotting of a global talent. He was not 16 years when he was called in to the national team, not the Scorpion, the Gambia 11. But he was not chosen to play when they were going to Senegal. Through the help of the older boys, they sneaked him in the vehicles and drove. According to him, it's when they went past Karan that he emerged. By that time, it's too late to return him. So he is in Senegal. They played 3 matches. The late George Gomez documents this in his handbook of Gambian football. Of course, Biri didn't participate, but he tells us it was being there that he made a decision that he must be in the first 11. And of course, the world of Gambian football changed. So that's an important lesson of the dedication and the spirit and the drive in the man himself. What God gave him was not enough. He had to build on it. And that is another lesson for young people today. A prodigy was born. In the short story we saw other people doing things to nurture genius. It was Matarsar, perhaps an overachiever, dynamic, who promoted sports, music, culture, business, professionalism, that saw the opportunity to think about getting an African to play in the then first division in England. And he arranged for this young, special talent to go to England. You can see the newsreels, 2nd of December, 1971. Young Biri Njari is running in at a very cold day at David. The legendary Brian Clough was the manager. He, Biri, thought that he would be retained. To this day, at Derby County, the football fans there have different theories as to why he wasn't retained. Some thought that Clough didn't want to be the first to bring an African on the team. How would that work out? And there's other theories as to why he was not returned. But here's another lesson. By 1971, Biri have decided to return home. He didn't say, I would hustle and rough it out. He thought he needed to follow a structured path. Return, join Walida. And for the tourism element and the different elements of tourism, 1972, B7, 1901, what were they doing in Gambia? They were here to play their practice matches of season. In the past few years, are there any clubs in Europe that do that to Gambia? I don't think so. So you see, the room for different types of tourism, bits of it existed. And that is the story about the possibility of revival. And what happened when the 1901 came? They played 3 matches. The first one against Biri himself, Walida, and the visiting team won. I think it was 5-4. Did Biri score? I'm asking. Yes. He scored 3 against them. And something else happened about when you have to break the mold when you see something extraordinary. The manager of B1901 spoke to Walidan and said, you know, our next match, we're playing Real de Banjo. We want Biri to play with us. So think about it. So Biri now is playing with B1901 against Real Baggio. According to him, he scored 4 goals. According to the records, it was 3 goals, because one of it was disqualified. Until his dying day, he would tell you the details of why that was a good goal. Yeah? He says, at some point, the night was so tense, the managers, the owners of the team, came down and asked that he be substituted. I'm not making it up. He said that he cried with the substitution. You know, because he understood that the rules were being broken. He was on trial. He was not taken to Denmark for a trial. They were trialing him in Gambia. So the opportunity of having teams and having things come, good things come home, many more good things will happen. Just as if bad things come to your house, disaster is at home. So if good things come, prosperity and Nathaniel is with you. So tourism and all of this is to bring good things to us. So Biri was tried in Gambia. Within weeks, he was on a plane to Europe as the first Gambian and first black professional player in Denmark. And of course, just 1 year, he is in trouble. His Excellency the Vice President led the delegation when we went to Spain. It was mind-boggling. In the preparations, I worked with the historian of the club to see the memorabilia they hold on him. The story. This is a man who's gone to a place that Gambians were not known, and he became a child of the place. He left the team 50 years ago, and every day you had the chance. It's as if he is their Njiri. They believed in him. Some people even think that the stand is named after him. The reason is because that's the stand of the home game, and the home game is called Biri. So it's always there. In his life, we have the lesson of diaspora. And we are pleased and honored that through the office of the Vice President as coordinator and all of the Ministry of Sport, Ministry of Tourism, particularly and Ministry of Finance, that this initiative is launched. And many people have been saying that something like this is needed. The hope, I can feel it, that everyone will join in to transform the legacy and the genius into practical development opportunity. Lastly, I think I always talk about money, right? I do, yeah? The money was big, wasn't it? 870-something million. That's a lot of money that the government are bringing in. Mr. Jai, did Biri do remittances? He did. There are stories of him coming with a lot of money. There are stories of him buying story buildings, doing things huge. But importantly, every March he would pay his way. There are some apocryphal stories as to how he may even have gotten himself a red card in order to play the local game. What we know that the love of country never left him, like most diaspora. He didn't always agree with the government of the day, but he loved his country, and his contribution is a legend, just as the man himself is legend. So I have nothing more to say but to thank the government and the partners for taking that step and for the commitment to bring us all together to try to get a little bit of that genius. The video that was done was brilliant, but I objected to one comment. when it said that Biri Biri met Maradona. Biri Biri did not meet Maradona. Maradona met Biri.
Thank you very much. I was allowed to sit down. I think it's not one day. The honorable ministers here present, the members of the diplomatic and consular corps here present, Professor Jibril Fowler of GK Partners, Madam Sidi Jalo, Diaspora Keynote Speaker, the representative of IM, senior civil servants here present, members of the diaspora, the media, the police band, religious and community leaders, all the protocols duly and respectfully observed. I want to take this opportunity to deliver the statement on behalf of His Excellency President Adman Barrow, who was supposed to be here with you, but due to other engagements, he has asked me to represent him. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, on the 13th January 2018, as we approach the 4th anniversary of the end of dictatorship in our beloved country, I had the honor of inaugurating the first State in the Nation Forum. Since then, this forum has matured into a national institution that strengthens policy engagement, deepens diaspora, homeland collaboration, and supports national development through practical and innovative action. While the initial excitement of democratic transition may have settled, the duty of nation building remains a permanent obligation. The State in the Nation Forum continues to offer timely insights and practical solutions to our national challenges, especially those relating to economic transformation, inclusion, and sustainable development. I therefore feel honored to deliver this statement at the 9th edition of this very important forum. Let me, without reservation, congratulate Professor Jibril Fowler, GK Partners, and all institutional partners, diaspora advisors, and volunteers who continue to devote time and expertise to sustain this forum. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the theme of this year, enhancing participation in the productive sectors, is particularly significant because it brings directly aligns with the national development priorities outlined in the Gambia's recovery-focused national development plan known as the IRUA. The IRUA recognizes that sustainable development requires us to accelerate green economic transformation, build resilience, strengthen human capital, and expand employment opportunities, especially for women and youth. The plan prioritizes participation across productive sectors, especially agriculture and fisheries, tourism, manufacturing and value-added services, ICT, and emerging green industries, because these sectors generate jobs, increase incomes, raise exports, and reduce poverty. The government's overarching goal, as articulated in IRUA, is to achieve a private sector-led growth with enhanced trade services, inclusive and sustainable industrialization, and increased employment. The State in the Nation Forum is in many ways a mid-diaspora day, a strategic opportunity to engage with our diaspora as the 8th region of the Gambia and to mobilize skills, resources, networks, and investment for national progress. We acknowledge with deep appreciation that diaspora remittances contributes about $1 billion annually, providing vital foreign exchange and direct support to households and communities. However, beyond remittances, the ILWA calls for greater emphasis on productive investment, domestic resource mobilization, and innovative financing to fund national development priorities. This is where diaspora participation becomes critical. We have already witnessed encouraging examples of diaspora professionals establishing businesses, expanding services, creating jobs, and supporting agriculture and food production. I therefore encourage you to intensify your engagement not only as supporters, but as investors, producers, innovators, exporters, and employers. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, to enhance our participation in productive sectors, government is implementing key priorities aimed at removing barriers to investment and expanding opportunities. Under the ILWA, government has committed to promoting a more favorable environment for business operations by improving business registration, reducing time and cost burdens, and strengthening the effectiveness of a single window registry. We recognize that investing and operating a business must be easier, faster, and more affordable, especially for SMEs, diaspora investors, women entrepreneurs, and youth-led enterprises. Participation in production is impossible without access to finance. The ILWA prioritizes enhancing financial inclusion and strengthening financial mechanisms for SMEs and productive sectors. In agriculture and fisheries, the plan notes that commercial firms allocate less than 5% of their lending portfolio to the sector, and that financial products are often short-term and unsuitable for agribusiness development. To address this, ILWA proposed innovative financing approaches, including specialized agricultural financing mechanisms and stronger long-term instruments such as capital market reforms and green bonds. The ILWA commits government to promoting industrialization through the development of agro-policy, industrial parks, and special economic zones to stimulate value addition, manufacturing, exports, and employment creation. This is central to shifting our economy away from dependence on raw commodity exports and low-value activities. Government is committed to revitalizing agriculture and natural resources through reforms and innovative programs aimed at achieving modern, productive, and sustainable agriculture for food and nutrition security, a vital fisheries and agriculture sector contributing to growth and employment, sustainable resource management, and climate resilience. The plan also recognizes that the productive agriculture and fisheries sector requires strengthening enabling conditions such as private financing, land management, water utilization, and energy supply. No productive transformation is possible without skilled human capital. The ILWA therefore commits to giving a strategic boost to technical and vocational education and training to build skills and economic transformation and create jobs for the youth. The plan also recommends measures such as strengthening apprenticeships and internships, aligning curriculum with industry needs, operationalizing national youth service, supporting women, and persons with disabilities in skills development. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we remain deeply concerned about the tragic loss of young Gambians through irregular migration. These dangerous journeys devastate families and weaken our national future. Government is treating irregular migration as an emergency, combining security responses with long-term economic solutions. solutions. The most suitable solution is to expand decent jobs and profitable livelihoods, especially through productive sector growth and youth entrepreneurship. In this regard, the IRWA identifies youth entrepreneurship and employment opportunities in agriculture, fisheries, technology, and innovation as key partners to curb migration pressures. Every year, more diaspora professionals return to contribute expertise to national institutions, reflecting growing confidence in the governance and reform agenda of our country. Diaspora expertise fills skills gaps, strengthening public sector performance, and build networks that can unlock partnerships for investment, trade, and development. I therefore encourage diaspora professionals to deepen their involvement not only in public service, but also in productive initiatives that create wealth and employment across the country. Last year, I said that government will work with GK partners to optimize outcomes from global initiatives on financing for development. I am pleased that the Gambia continues to contribute to innovative financing mechanisms such as Remit Aid, which promotes structured diaspora finance to support sustainable development and productive investment. This aligns with the universal recognition that we must strengthen domestic resource mobilization and adopt innovative financing approaches to implement our national priorities. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the area calls for citizens at home and abroad and all partners to collaborate with government to mobilize resources and ensure effective implementation of the plan, which will boost competitiveness, growth, and poverty reduction. Enhancing participation in the productive sectors is therefore an optional agenda. It is a pathway to transforming our economy, expanding jobs, improving livelihoods, strengthening resilience, and securing prosperity for all. It is now my delight to officially declare the 19th Nation Forum formally open. I wish you fruitful deliberation and look forward